Land Rover Defender Headlights. So we are going to look at repairing your headlights. So we have had a couple of people already with the Defender have their headlights break. And we've got Steve at Gap Diagnostics who's repairing his Crash Defender. I'll put a picture on the screen. He also needs to reshell his headlights. So I'm doing this video to show you how to do this. So we have bought this one off eBay. It was quite cheap, actually. It's like £100, which, considering these headlights can be up to £2,000, that could be a bad weekend if you damage one of these. So hopefully we've got the solution. We consider this to be an environmental product because rather than throwing everything away in landfill here, we have had manufactured the rear casings and the front. Now, we sell the headlight glasses separate and the rear casings because often if you have a collision, the mounting lugs will snap. But I don't get how people can repair them, and we'll go through it. I mean, I think it's going to be, if I got the right sides here, Kate, can I make this puzzle go together? Yes, here we go. So I think it's going to be better to buy both parts as a kit. So in this video, we're gonna cut open and strip down this headlight, and then we'll do another video reassembling it. But I just wanted to explain how it goes. So you can see here, you've got this little ridge that goes all the way around the outside of here, and that sits in the little channel. You obviously put your adhesive in here. So what you do is you get the rear, you assemble, everything screws into the rear, and then the last step is you put that on, and I don't want to, and obviously it's got these little clips, but you put some adhesive, and then we'll have to squeeze it all together, but that's going to be in the final video. So if you buy the two together, everything on the outside is new, and all your electronics on the inside are all your original optics and electronics, so you'll have no compatibility issues. Right, so let's get on and strip this down. Now this will be as much a record for me putting it back together as it will be for you guys. So, right, so let's take off the ECU. Now there's some stories, and I think it's probably true because we had a look. The part numbers are different. So let's, thanks Kate, let's have a look. So we've got 3 screws. Let's check they're all the same, and we'll keep that together. So obviously you can't mix these ECUs between headlights. They are sort of, someone was wondering whether they were, it was Mo was wondering, he said on some of the Jags they're actually coded to the car, but on our Stig, we've changed the headlights and we had to update the software, but they weren't coded to the car, although they were new, so second-hand headlights might be an issue, I'm not sure. Right, so I'm pulling this off now. Now is that, well, I can see a connector in there. Oh, is it going to let me? I wanted to get the electronics out the way first, but it seems to be not. There seems to be not enough cable length to get that. Oh, here we go. He's kind of tight, but all right. Let's have a look. Right, let's have a go. It looks like this should pull down. There you go. Oh gosh, it looks like something broke then. Right then, but that's the. So you've got a weather seal there. Let's have a look what happened here. We'll have a look. But that seems okay. That, yeah, I think it's just tight. Yeah, it still clicks in place then. Now, unless there's a little button, are you supposed to press that little button at the side in? I think maybe you squeeze those buttons in the side in there. Look. So you see that one there. All right, you've got to push that little nipply bit there. I think we lost the nipply bit, but luckily we've still got one. So there you go. We break our car so you don't have to break yours. Right, so that's all good. Right, so now we've got to cut this lens off. Now we used a Savage tool last time, didn't we, Kate? That was grisly. So we're going to go and try a bit more delicate. But what I've done before this video, I've been doing my bit of homework, was I cut 2 channels in here, and I wanted to see, on some headlights, like on the old Range Rover Sport, we put them in the oven. I bought a new oven, it's round behind there. And on some headlights where they use a sort of bitumen-based adhesive, when you heat it up, it goes all gloopy, and you can put them in the oven at like 70 or 80 degrees C and separate it. So what I did earlier was I cut this so this bit was loose, and I heated it to see if the adhesive would soften, but it wouldn't. Basically, the plastic lens softened before the adhesive. So I don't think heating is gonna help you a lot with this. And as I said, I think it's better just to buy the front and the rear. And I'm not just saying that to sell you twice as much. Right, let's get on and see how we do with the cutting, shall we, Kate?
Yeah.
Right, have I got enough length on my... Right, so we have got a Dremel with a speed lock fitting, and they do special plastic cutting discs. So that's going to be my thing of choice. Kate, I've got some glasses for you to put on, okay. Otherwise you'll have bits of plastic flying around. And I've got my gloves on. Right, and let's see if we can cut. I think I'm going to just sort of cut along this line here. I'm going to try and cut along this sort of line here. Okay, so we'll make a start. You don't want to watch me cut it all, but let's see how effective this is. Right, here we go. Right then. So that doesn't seem too bad. It's more melting it really than cutting it. So just be careful because you will get little bits of molten plastic flying around. But it's less messy than the other one because we had all those, do you remember, we have all those little chippings everywhere. It was like sort of plastic sawdust. So we will get on and cut this edge round here, and then we'll come back and we'll pry it open, and hopefully we'll have access to the fittings inside. We can unscrew and start removing the innards. Right, so I've done that. I'm quite happy with that. I haven't pulled it quite off yet, but I'm nearly there. So there we go. So that's cut through it. Okay. Now what I'm not sure about, so a couple of things. When you're going through, if your disc is too big, you're in danger of touching the innards. Obviously we don't want to cut into this bit here, and obviously we don't want to cut into, but I think we've got sufficient clearance all the way around. If you look round there, Kate, there's quite a bit of a gap, isn't there? So we haven't touched anything around here, have we? We've gone fine round here, round here. Looks like the top of that I might have got a bit close, but when you put it all together, you're not going to see it. So I don't think it matters too much. But yeah, be careful around this section here. It looks like that's where the lens and the innards are quite close. Everything else looks okay. Right, so now what I've got to do is see whether... What I'm worried about is that, you see, it looks like this bit here is going to stop me getting the inner out. Yeah, so we may have to cut some more. It may be overlapping here too much. So we may not be out the woods yet. Right, I'll have a look. Right, so it doesn't look like I've quite got enough out. So I'm going to have to cut round this orange bit here. So I think it's going to be better to cut. You see here where we've got the bit that joins. We need to just cut a little bit. So I'm going to just cut these bits off. Now we know where we're cutting. I did see one screw. There's one screw in there at the bottom of there.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. I tried to orange it, but not very successfully. Right, so let me get and cut a bit more, and then we'll have another look. Right, so there we go. So you can see I've trimmed more parallel to the edge. Interesting, we've got a load of feathers in here. I think there was some sort of roadkill going on. Some of it almost looks like it's embedded in the adhesive though. So I don't know if they're using birds in the factory. Who knows? We'll have a look as we disassemble it more. Right, there's 4 Torx screws, Torx T20. So we've got one here, so that's 2 at the top or the bottom. I can't even work out what's top and bottom anymore. Right, can you see the other 2, Kate?
There's one here.
There's one in that corner somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got him? Yeah, he's in there. So let's walk those 4 screws out and let's see what comes out. I'm hoping the whole sort of front assembly will come out. So let's put these things in an order, Kate, so we don't get confused. I'm not worried about that. Right, so we've got, that was the first thing to come off. So that will be last to go back on. Okay, and that's the screws with that. And then in theory, if I can get these screws out and check they're all the same. I'll probably take my gloves off now. So we've got one there. Hopefully these are all the same. They tend to be, don't they?
Yeah. Watch the feathers.
Watch the feathers. The feathers are well entrenched in there.
Oh.
1, 2, 3. Sorry, it's a bit tricky filming. Oh, there you go. We're all looking the same so far.
We are.
And the last one at the top there. And then be interesting to see what comes out with that. Is he going to come out for me?
Oh no, just shake it down.
Right, we'll find the last one. Find me right now. The interesting thing is now what? Okay, so we've got some movement here. All right, let me have a little play and see what we can get out next. Right, this bit doesn't want to come out. You can get quite a good grip under this corner here, and I'm giving it a pull and it's squealing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some of this back section out and just have a look if there's any clips in the back, because I don't want to break it too much. So let me cut some more and we'll have a look. Right, so I chopped a bit into here. Be very careful if you chop anywhere. I got really close to these wires. Well, actually started to just nip one of those wires there. So you don't need to take any of the back off, but I was just doing it to have a look, to try and work this out. But I've had a look. I should have looked at this more closely. So you see we've got this nice channel where we're going to put the adhesive when we put it back together. But you'll notice in two places, here and here, the channel isn't complete. And what that does is the reflector sits in and then the lens sits on top of it. So what I found is I've just popped one of these out. So on the light, I've coloured so one of those is here on this side by the little indicator bit, and the other side is over here. Now, I managed to just put my screwdriver in and lever that bit out. So that bit's coming out now. So I think the other one is going to be stuck over here. You come around the other side, Kate. See if I can, because the trouble is the adhesive is half trapping it in, I think. So I need to free this one up here. There you go. You can see the adhesive there. Now that hopefully will allow this bit to come out now. They don't want you taking these apart, do they?
It's definitely not as easier as the other light.
The disco. There we go. He's out. Look. But you see, that's the little. That's two of them. But where's he stuck now? He's loose. There you go. There you go. There you go. What, have we got any wires on here? Let's be careful. Right.
Looks like it.
So we've got a wire there. So I think we've got a little. Like a little push tab on this side, do you think? Or has he got two little ears on there? Oh yeah, he looks like a push tab. Go on, out you go. Yeah, just grabbing him. There we go. Yeah, so he's got a little push tab there. Right, so this releases this. So let's take a look at this. So these are the two bits that are going to give you the trouble. And you can see here, can you see the adhesive, the rubbery adhesive that's on there? So that is the tricky bits to get out. There, and then on the opposite side there. But we've done that okay. And have they got a little, yeah, and look, we've kept the fit in. If you look at it sideways there, it's got a little sort of ramp and a little there, and we've got, yeah. So we're all intact. We haven't damaged it yet. So that is the whole module. And that's obviously got the indicators and the sort of funky signature strip all in that one, linked with that one connector. Right, so that's the second bit to get out. Right, now it's looking a lot easier, isn't it? I think we can manage this. So we've got the main projection housing. We've got to work out how to get that out. Right, let me have a little look again. Right, we're into the inner module. Now, one thing I meant to point out at the start, we've actually got two beam adjusters here. Now, one must adjust the beam up and down, and one must be left and right. So your car will automatically adjust itself. It's got the auto leveling and everything. But if you're way out, these two here are going to adjust it. Now, when we flip that back over, that looks like this So there's a sort of plastic ball joint, like a sort of hip joint there. This one is screwed in this corner, and there must be another joint over the other side where I've accessed that somewhere.
Yes, they're up in the corner.
In the corner. Right, so I think I'm going to try and take this screw out. So it's obviously got one sort of fixed point. There you go, and he looks like he's a Torx T20. And the other two must rotate about this fixed point. Let me have a look. Is that coming out? That's bringing something out with it. If you look from the side here, okay, you can see as I unscrew it here, that whole assembly is sort of coming out complete with that. Again, I'm not sure this is the best way, but right, he seems to be just spinning now. So now what we've got is this ball joint here. If we can, I wonder if I can pop that ball joint off. Normally those ball joints will pop off or slide off. Here we go. It's gonna. Oh, it wants to slide one way. There you go. Right. So we've got that slid off. There we go. So it looks like. So it must have had. Right. So you've got this little sort of, what we're going to call that, proboscis there. That proboscis there goes into that little hole there. You then have got to slide the hip joint here onto there, and then that final screw gives you your locating points. Now, right, what have we got wire-wise going onto this, Kate? We've got a cable tie in there. So should we zip that cable tie? We'll have to put a cable tie in with the kit. And we've got this is the motor actually. This is the motor. So there's a motor there. I think I'm probably better off unclipping this at this end. Although it worries me, it seems to split.
It looks like it's. Is that the clip there?
That would look like it. But is there another wire going off?
Oh yeah, the clip's under. Is in here.
Oh, so it's got two wires. I think I might leave it all together because I think it's just got this clip on the end. It's got that big one that we took off earlier. It's quite complicated, isn't it? No need to cut it. Look, it's on a little clip, so it literally just barbs over there. So you can pull that out, and they've done the same down here. There's a little fit in. I think I can just maybe use the screwdriver just to tease this little barbed fitting out of here. Oh, there you go. See that little barbed fit in there? And then, is there another barbed fit in? Let me work it. There you go. That's clearly the way it wants to do it. Right, so there you go. So if you had a better trim tool than me, don't stress those wires too much. Right, and then we're up to the top up here. So what has that got? Has that got another barbed fitting on it?
Looks like it.
I'm going to give it a yank. Sorry, it's not very easy to video this one. Yep, so that's got another pop fit in. We've got a thing going to the motor. Right, let's take some more apart. Gosh, right. So, yeah, look at all the feathers. That was some carnage there. Right, it looks like we can take this little fella out. And again, we've got to watch which screws these are. So we keep the screws with the fit in. Right, ready, Kate?
Yep.
One there. So what's this little module doing? I don't know what this little module's doing. That'd be the LED driver. Right, there you go, you've got two of those. And then that little module there just pulls out of there. Again, we could leave him connected. Right. And then, right, let's have a look. So we've got a motor assembly now. So it looks like there's two screws. Look, there's one down the bottom here and one at the top here. So let's have a look if they will release the motor.
And it appears that they're all Torx T20.
All Torx T20 so far, which is a bonus. Oh, he might have to come out. So this motor should respond so that as we accelerate and decelerate, it adjusts the beam accordingly. All right, there you go. So they look the same as those other two, which is handy. Right, I need to magnetise my talks. Right. There we go. So now there's obviously there looks like this adjuster here that comes down, and that's gripping onto this assembly. But is that enough to release? Oh, I think we might have to just pop that. It looks like he's just gripping the side of that. Right, I was on the right track. This grey sort of threaded bar, you need to get, he pops out of that. I just popped him out. Okay, so that, once that's out, this whole thing should now lift out, okay? So in fact, actually that's interesting, isn't it? That slides up. Right, so we've got that. How are we doing with our loom now? We've got most of the loom out there. We've got that out, the connector out. So it's just this corner. We've got a little corner bracket in here. So we've got 2 screws on here. Okay. Right, now let's hope these screws are the same. There you go. Oh, it's hanging on.
Too many hands.
Right, so that's good, that's good. Right. It'll probably be easier to watch when we put it back together. We might know what we're doing then. Well, there we go.
So yeah, they are all the same.
Brilliant. Right, now how does that bottom assembly come out now? Right, so now we're ready to pull this bit out. It actually just pulls out. So you could pull that bit off. So let me put that on my table with those 2 screws. And then I guess this is a similar thing. In fact, let's get this loom out the way now. So I think it's on a barbed connector. I'll put actually that's on a grippy connector there. And then the main loom I can just twist anti-clockwise. It's got 2 little flats on it. And we can extract that out now. Notice how the cable is routed behind these 2 pegs in that corner. So let me just pull that out. And then we should be able to extract. So that's all of this. So we'll come back to this in a minute. We've still got the 2 adjusters to get out. We've got to work that out. We've got to pull these tabs off the back, these blue things. So we'll do that last. What I wanted to show, I was just having a bit of fun earlier, just taking this apart. So we can actually take this bit off here. Let me just grab my screwdriver. Right, so we can just lever this up a little bit there. So it just goes on as a sort of little ramp, it goes over here. Right? And then you've got this lens, and this lens is sort of held in with these tabs here. Let's see if I can just, I did this earlier. There you go. Right, so that's a fairly solid lens, isn't it? Nice. God, even my glasses aren't that bad. Right, that's saying something. Again, you don't need to do this. This is just out of interest. And there you can see all the LED module. Now, it's going to be hard to see on the camera, but this silver plate at the end is asymmetric. And I think this sort of silver metal plate is what dictates left and right hand drive. It's got a different shape to it. So I suspect that's... But there's the whole electrical assembly. So you've got your main light unit. You've got your motor. So that's an adjustment motor. That's some sort of heat shrink with some sort of LED. Oh, maybe just the LED for the indicator there. Oh, there's another thing I noticed here. Check this out. Look, it's got this little air intake at the bottom and this electric fan, and it sucks the air in and it blows it up through here over this heatsink. So it's got some funky cooling system built into it. Right, let's put all that to one side. Interesting as all that is. You could paint that black or red or some groovy colour if you wanted some extra contrast, couldn't you? Might look quite cool inside the headlight if you were redoing a pair of them. Right, there you go. There's my new glasses lens. Right. So now all we've got to do is get this adjuster out. Now, obviously it's held in actually by, this one's going to be a better one to start on. I can't pull the grey bit out because of this black bit there. So I guess it must, does it pop back through? How do they get those? I might be able to just about wiggle that one out. Sorry, I'm moving around, Kate.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. So I've got that out. So that's the adjuster, that sits in. Right, so we need to make sure we get this all in the right order. Now my problem is, how do I get that out of there? It looks like he must have come in. He must have come in from that side, unless we can lever it. Oh, has he got little caps on the back here, Kate? Yeah, I reckon there's 2 little tabs on the back here. We can. Oh, I see. It will rotate round. Gosh, they didn't want you taking that apart. Look, you see that? And I think we're gonna have to force that off somehow. There you go. So I did well there. So gosh, yeah, because there's no way you're ever going to hold all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those out. Oh, see, and that's come off complete with the thing. So there you go. Right, we'll put that one there. Right, let's get these 2 little. These are the breathers. These have got a little tricky osmosis thing in. Keep still, Simon. I'm trying to film. Right, here it goes.
Hard.
Yeah, it's always going to be a tricky one to film. So that's the little, these are sort of a 2-part. You've got this osmosis membrane in here that lets moisture out. So you need 2 caps. Notice where they're. I wonder if there's one missing here. What do you reckon, Kate? And in fact, that one's blanked off.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you see, look, that's blank. Interesting. That one. So they obviously were going to use that one, but decided not to. So it's only these 2 here that get blessed with the caps. Right, there we go. Right, so we got 2 caps. Right, so then here we go. So we're on this one here. So this is exactly the same deal. We got this, Kate. I reckon we've bossed this. Ooh, or not. Look at that. I spoke too soon. I've got 5 more. I've got 5 more to hold it on.
Oh, that looks a bit.
It looks a bit grisly, doesn't it? Yeah. Oh no! Oh, the snapped. Failed at the final hurdle.
Oh, another one's going.
No, they're all going, aren't they? I bet we can't buy these on spare parts. Oh, I think it's coming off your way, Kate. You're getting worried now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Oh. And then that falls out. So there you go. That's the cap. It'll be right. Oh, he's only lost 1, Kate.
I know, but one's looking really sad.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Sad. Right then. Here you go. And there's the final. And you can see how that, as you spin that, it goes up and down this. It's quite neat. So, right, I think that is everything stripped out of that one. We've got the adjusters out. We've got everything out of that. That is the headlight. So we will do another video where we will attempt to sort of do the same in reverse. And we'll sort of do it in, we'll get the adjusters in, the air caps in, and then we'll get all this and we'll try and do the reverse order of all that and get it back together and try some of the new sealants that Sikaflex have given me. So there we go. We're nearly there, Steve. Dedicate this one to Steve with his brave Defender rebuild project. Good luck with that.